Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. The UN says some 25,000 people have fled the Iraqi city of Ramadi since its capture by the self-proclaimed Islamic State Sunday. Thousands of Iraqi forces and Iranian-allied Shiite fighters are massing around Ramadi in preparation for an offensive to retake it from ISIL. The U.S. has also launched airstrikes and is reportedly considering speeding arms deliveries to Iraqi militias in Anbar province. The UN says it needs more time to bring aid to areas of Yemen following the end of a 5-day truce. A UN spokesperson said only half the proposed supplies were delivered before Saudi strikes resumed Sunday.
The humanitarian pause in Yemen was not long enough to reach all those in need of food, and WFP is appealing for a series of predictable breaks in the conflict to deliver desperately needed aid.
The UN says Yemen has only been able to import 1/10 of the fuel it needs each month. More than 1,800 people have died in Yemen's conflict so far. Israel's canceled an order to bar West Bank Palestinians from riding on the same buses as Israelis. The ban would have applied to the hundreds of Palestinians who cross into Israel each day for work and then return home. The Defense Ministry had introduced it as a 3-month pilot project to address the demands of Israeli settlers, but Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu abruptly canceled it following an outcry. Los Angeles has become the nation's largest city to approve a significant increase to the minimum wage. The Los Angeles City Council voted Tuesday to raise the minimum wage from $9 to $15 an hour by 2020. The move will impact as many as 800,000 workers, or almost 50% of the workforce. It's expected to spark wage hikes across Southern California and boost similar efforts nationwide. The Japanese airbag manufacturer Takata has doubled its recall to nearly 34 million vehicles, the largest in U.S. history. The airbags can explode when activated, spraying occupants with sharp metal fragments. The defect has been linked to 6 deaths and dozens of injuries. 10 automakers have recalled vehicles in the U.S. so far. An oil spill off the coast of Santa Barbara, California, has leaked some 21,000 gallons into the Pacific Ocean. The Coast Guard has enacted an emergency cleanup after the spill left an oil slick on close to 4 miles of beach and 50 yards into the water. The company behind the spill, Plains All American Pipeline, has shut down the ruptured pipeline. Meanwhile, in Louisiana, a state of emergency has been declared near Baton Rouge after a cargo train with oil tankers derailed. A former top CIA official and intelligence briefer to President George W. Bush before the Iraq War has acknowledged Bush and Vice President Dick Cheney falsely presented information to the public. In an interview with MSNBC's Chris Matthews, Michael Morell was asked about Cheney's claim that Saddam Hussein was seeking nuclear weapons.
Was that true?
We were saying...
Can you answer that question?
No,
was that true?
That's not true.
Well, why did you let him get away with it?
Look, my job, Chris, is...
You're the briefer of the president on intelligence. You're the top person to go in and tell him what's going on. You see Cheney make this charge. He's got a nuclear bomb. Then they make subsequent charges. He knew how to deliver it. He had the capability to deliver it. And nobody raised it and said, no, that's not what we told him.
Chris, what's my job, right? My job...
Tell the truth.
My job, no. As the briefer?
Okay, go ahead.
As the briefer, my job is to carry CIA's best information and best analysis to the President of the United States, make sure he understands it, right? My job is to not watch what they're saying on TV and say, yesterday...
You think TV's a joke?
What?
You think it's a joke that Cheney said on TV?
That's not my job.
Did you know he did that?
No, I wasn't paying attention. I was studying what was on my desk every morning. So you're briefing the president
on the reasons for war. They're selling the war, using your stuff, saying that you made that case when you didn't. So they're using your credibility to make the case for war dishonestly, as you just admitted.
Look, I'm just telling you...
Well, you just admitted it.
I'm just telling you what
they gave a false presentation of what you said to them.
On some aspects.
That was Morell, a top briefer for President George W. Bush, being questioned by MSNBC's Chris Matthews. The Iraq invasion has emerged as a major campaign issue after Republican hopeful Jeb Bush walked back his claim he would have authorized the Iraq War. On Tuesday, Democratic hopeful Hillary Clinton was asked about her Senate vote to support the Iraq invasion.
Look, I know that there have been a lot of questions about Iraq posed to candidates over the last weeks. I've made it very clear that I made a mistake, plain and simple. And I have written about it in my book. I've talked about it in the past. And, you know, what we now see is a very different and very dangerous situation. The United States is doing what it can, but ultimately this has to be a struggle that the Iraqi government and the Iraqi people are determined to win for themselves.
4 U.S. cancer charities are being accused of massive fraud. The Federal Trade Commission says the groups funneled some $187 million into top officials' pockets. The charities are the Cancer Fund of America, Cancer Support Services, Children's Cancer Fund of America, and the Breast Cancer Society. It could be one of the largest charity fraud cases of all time. Police in Texas are urging a truce between rival gangs in the aftermath of Sunday's shootout that left 9 people dead. More than 170 people have been charged with engaging in organized crime so far. Waco Sergeant Patrick Swanton urged all sides to avoid retaliation.
I will tell you that in the gang world and in the biker world, that violence usually condones more violence. Is this over? Most likely not. We would like it to be. We would ask there to be some type of truce between whatever motorcycle gangs are involved. We would encourage them to try and be a little peaceful and let the bloodshed stop.
And a Columbia University senior who lugged a dorm room mattress around campus to protest the university's handling of sexual assault has carried that mattress across the graduation stage. Emma Solkowitz carried the mattress all year in a call for a student she accuses of raping her to be expelled. A group of friends helped Emma Solkowitz carry it across the stage at their graduation ceremony at Columbia University on Tuesday. And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman.
And I'm Juan Gonzalez. Welcome to all of our listeners and viewers around the country and around the world.